recent journeys in the MCU have been ones of confusion and some delays. Looking at you, Blade. Who remembers Armor Wars? Huh? But with all that being said, it looks to be like Thunderbolts is the shot of adrenaline this universe needs, as it's the most different MCU film we've had in a very, very long time. The plot of Thunderbolts, Azertic, goes like this. Valentina Allegra de Fonte, the head of the CIA, is under investigation for her weapons dealings with a black ops company called Ox. After years of manipulating master assassins and agents, the last group left alive discovers her greatest secret, a human test subject with more power than any Avenger. Now it's up to the group of misfits to stop this powerful threat to the world and also figure out the demons that are haunting them from their past. Our previous MCU film, Captain America Brave New World, did something different with the intro. And at the time, I was like, no, I need the characters and the graphics. But now that we have it again at Thunderbolts with a shout out to Sentry's Void, I was like, okay, I can actually dig this creativeness. It bodes well for how free the director might be with the rest of the movie in terms of creativity. Introducing us to this take on Thunderbolts is our main character, Yelena. She's on top of this humongous skyscraper, having that crazy white people self-talk. You know how they be. I don't deserve to live. What is life? Fuck everybody. She's up there going through it in a very emotional way. And when you see that, you can understand that this character is emotionally lost, right? Only assisted by the fact that she jumps off of the skyscraper with no type of equipment. Anakin Skywalker, what?
Once again, you've proved, if you'll excuse me. I hate it when he does that.
Once she lands into the building she was trying to go into, we get this very dynamic ceiling angle of her fighting this hallway full of security with weapons and batons and armor. And you can see how reckless Yelena has become in a scenario she puts herself in, meaning that she hasn't really found her purpose in life yet. She feels like an empty void. Shout out to Tobey Maguire for Spider-Man 2. I'm not an empty seat anymore. Punch me, I bleed. Day by day, I gaze upon her. Day by day, shut the fuck up, nigga. And also, just having superheroes fight in small spaces continues to be one of my most favorite kinks in all of comic book media right now. It's always so fun because you have these people that can be chaotic in a confined area. It makes for creativeness for sure. Who would have thought a cast this mixed up could deliver such great synergy from beginning to end? We have our emotional and physical lead of the movie, Florence Pugh, who plays Yelena, the sister of former Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. And I gotta say that when we see the character wanting a public-facing role, that lets you know that she no longer wants to be a shadow dweller. You know, she wants to be something more than just this mindless assassin. Shout out to the ending of Black Widow that kind of ties into that whole Taskmaster thing a little bit. And you can also tell the differences right away between Yelena and Natasha. Yelena isn't necessarily a piece of shit. She's not just endlessly killing people, and unlike her sister, she ain't getting ready to tease no pussy.
Penis activated.
Wyatt Russell is Dime Store Captain America. He's Junior Varsity Captain America. And I gotta say, he's one of the more better written characters in the recent years for the MCU. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was written for John to make you despise him because Sam was supposed to end up with the shield. And we know how that story played out. But for this film, his second MCU appearance, we have you actually sympathizing with the character because he had come from such grace in getting that Captain America mantle to now being this Captain America rip-off dollar store version that's doing shadow ops, right? And when you see the character have these moments of physical or verbal aggression, you go, ah, that's why you couldn't handle being Cap, because Uncle Ben said,
with great power comes
Don't
great...
you dare finish that sentence. Don't do it. I'm sick of it.
I gotta bust the phone out for this. Don't kill your boy. Valentina Allegra de Fonte, played by Julia Louis Dreyfus. Goddamn word salad.
And go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow. A reading rainbow.
Was my favorite character in this movie. The decision to give her this great swoop in front of her hair was brilliant because visually it isolates her from every other woman you've seen in the MCU with a main character appearance, right? And what I loved so much about her character was that when you compare her to Viola Davis's Amanda Waller and the former DCEU James Gunn, Amanda Waller wasn't really trying to connect to the likes of Harley and Deadshot. It was like, hey, motherfucker, I got a bomb in your neck, bitch. Do what I say or your life gonna get a lot worse. Whereas to Val, she was becoming a chameleon from person to person, manipulating situations. Hey, look, Yelena, I know who killed your sister. Don't you want revenge? Ah. Or, hey, John, I can kind of give you purpose again. I know you feel like shit. And your baby mama complaining about bills and shit. Ah, you know? Or even that, I love that scene where she was talking to her assistant and she asked her assistant, hey, do I look motherly enough? Before she went to go talk to Sentry to try to manipulate him. I loved the way it was played and the way it was written. Scumbag, but my kind of scumbag.
Don't pretend you're poor, you evil old bitch.
Every single member of the Thunderbolts team had an emotional thread that connected them to somebody else. Ava had nothing. Her powers are so fun and so creative. What did they do? Nothing. This character does nothing in the movie that's noteworthy. I swear to God. Yeah, people can argue, well, if it wasn't for her, they wouldn't have made it out of the easy bake oven mountain base. Okay. But once you get past that, why was she here? We haven't seen this character since 2018. They could have given her some sort of MCU appearance in a Disney Plus project or something. Hell, we saw Darcy in WandaVision before we saw Ava again. And Darcy ain't been around since Thor: The Dark World. But god damn, are the fight scenes in this movie boring? After they first initially meet each other in an easy bake oven mountain base, I was like, oh no. Oh no. Visually, this team is so boring when it comes to combat. There's nothing dynamic done with the powers. And I was thinking to myself like, wow, you have John Walker who doesn't use the taco shield as a projectile. You have Yelena who is doing light work. Real light work. Red Guardian is Unc, who think he still got it, but he don't. Then Ghost has unique powers that I wanted to see them utilize in dynamic ways, but they never did. And then This is where Taskmaster not being killed off in the first 15 minutes could have really assisted this movie, because she can copy and mimic the skills of anybody she watches. So we could have really gotten some MCU ties to Black Panther, Spider-Man, Hawkeye, so many other fighting styles we could have seen that really diversifies the combat. Plus, she carries a sword. Film bros about to be in shambles all week. Oh, they gonna eat. Time to turn on the monetization. I ain't going to work at all this month. I'ma eat, because the color grading, the saturation, the tone of the MCU is gonna be a piece of dialogue this week. It shouldn't be, but it is. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. A movie about rogue assassins moving on from Black Ops missions and now wanting to cure the demons of their past should not feature an explosive color palette. This ain't Spy Kids 3D. We don't need that. I like the fact that the costumes and the surrounding areas were saturated in color. That not only assisted the story they were trying to tell, but it also helped when Sentry comes onto the screen, you go, oh, that's different. He has a mustard yellow. It ain't gold, it's mustard yellow. And a dark blue look to his costume along with a cape. That makes him visually dynamic from everybody else in this ensemble. I don't know about y'all, but I love when comic book movies give us court cases, that political element, because it lets us know that, yeah, these are otherworldly beings, but they're not above the laws that once governed them, right? They're not above that shit. And I loved seeing Val in court throughout the movie, or at least in the first scene, because that really allows you to know, like, oh, there's consequences for millions of dollars in damage. There's a price to be paid for fatalities in public.
You're like a bunch of blood-sucking ticks draining the life's blood out of this department. Woosah.
Damn the woosah, Captain. Did you just call me a tick?
And someone like Bucky, who's over 100 years old, adds so much knowledge to the political element of his character in this movie. Can't nobody say Marvel Studios don't listen. Marvel Studios pays attention to everything being said. For a few years now, y'all was complaining about the falling debris and the battling in the sky always having to be the ending to a comic book film or a comic book show. WandaVision shouldn't have did that. But now, with the likes of Deadpool and Wolverine, the likes of Brave New World, we've gotten projects where the endings and the climax hasn't been about, you know, things going up, things going down. It's been more emotional. And I loved how Thunderbolts ended with the two characters that fought together to get out of the Easy Bake Oven mountain base, and Yelena and Bob end up being the two people to pull each other out of the darkness in order to save the world at the end of the movie. That made the ending have so much emotional weight, because these characters have always been about killing and punching and kicking. So now they're about something else that's deeper and more meaningful. And people online want to freak out about how come we didn't see what Ava saw in the void, what Alexi saw in the void, what Bucky saw in the void. No. What John saw in the void. Nigga, John saw bills. He saw child support payments. That's what he saw. But I'm glad we didn't get those moments with those other characters, because they established such a link between Yelena and Bob early on. It paid dividends. Also, them not fighting Sentry at the end made sense. What they gonna do? How they gonna stop him? But tying it to the ending with Yelena, also tied backwards in time to Natasha Romanoff, because Natasha couldn't live with the weight of what the world had become after Thanos' snap during Infinity War. So now Yelena has an opportunity to save the world before something chaotic like that happens, avoided the same pitfalls as her older sister. A nice way to tie her character arc back into Yelena. I try my best, y'all, going into any sort of movie to just ignore what's being said by the outside world. But goddamn, I heard people saying that this was the best MCU film since Avengers Endgame. Damn. Didn't No Way Home have better character interactions? Didn't Deadpool and Wolverine give you more dynamic action sequences? Didn't Quantum Boogaloo give you an ending that had more MCU weight? I ain't talking post-credits, I'm talking the actual ending of the movie than the likes of this. So when people say it's the best film since Endgame, what have y'all been watching? Or is Marvel Studios paying for bots? Are we really gonna say this is the best MCU movie since 2019? Come on. Come on, man. I don't care if it's called New Avengers in the actual promotion now. A week later, damn, Marvel, y'all ain't wait. Nigga, if you ain't got no money or no time to go see it, fuck you. So, Thunderbolts Azertic. What does it get? What does it deserve? Thunderbolts gets a B+. You know, harboring back to old MCU films where it wasn't really a requirement for you to know about Tony's origin or Thor's origin, or that they are on the Avengers. It allows you to just watch those movies as is. And I feel like this movie did such a great job of allowing you to watch it just as it is. And they've been wanting to do an anti-hero, darker movie for a while. And they did it with a solid PG-13 rating. There was some creativity in the movie, from the aspects of a nuclear bomb's shadow being what people disappear into via the void from Sentry. I talked about Val's character, you know, these people trying to pull themselves from the demons of their past and how that was handled. Them coming together as one, the New Avengers. Terrible roster. I loved certain aspects of this film, but the combat creativity, as I said, and the abrupt ending. Oh my God. What was the ending? We own you now, Val. And we will build this thing together.